Hey you guys, today we're going to make these really beautiful recipe cutting boards with a wood burning tool just like this. It takes a little bit of time, but it's so beautiful and stylish. So let's sit back and get our craft on. The supplies that we need for this project are pretty simple. We don't need a lot. I do recommend having a practice board and trying this project out before you make your completed item. Wood burning can be slightly unforgiving, so it's nice to do a practice run. Now, if you want to do something simple, you could start with some basic stencils. Those always look really beautiful on a cheese board or a cutting board, but I'm going to work with this recipe sticker stencil that I've made. I made this with a Cricut. And this is something that you can download from the blog for free at popshopamerica.com. You'll need a pencil. Now I'm going to use a box cutter or an X-Acto knife. I would recommend having one of these, but you could also use some small tweezers. When you see how I use it, you'll see that it's pretty adaptable and there's probably some other items that you can use in its place. And of course we have our beautiful cheese board. This is going to be my finished product. And we have a wood burning tool. And that's it. Now I'm going to get started with this project by prepping my recipe stencil. So I'm going to set everything else to the side, but I want to show you how cute these other stencils are because these would make for a beautiful cheese board or cutting board as well. I've got some balloons right here. This one says baked with love. I love this one. And then you could also consider some fun leaves, some like monstera leaves like this or hibiscus. There's so many different ways that you can customize this to your own style, but I think this recipe is really beautiful because this is something that we could potentially give as a gift, pass down to a loved one. To prep it, all I need is this X-Acto knife, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be really careful to peel out all of the letters, and I'm going to leave the background. So I'm just going to start, you can really start anywhere, and you might even want to start with your nails. Now all of these pieces that you pull out, you might want to have like a little trash by you or some place to put them because they are going to be sticky. You might even want to keep them. You know, these pieces like this, these are very usable as well. And then that X-Acto knife is just there if anything is too small or too hard to work with, then you can use that X-Acto knife to help. Like for example, this is a banana bread recipe. So I'm working on the A, I'm working on my second letter, and the interior part of that A is getting pulled up as I'm pulling out the exterior part of the A. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to hold the interior portion of the A while I use my hand to pull up the exterior portion of the A. And so now that has worked perfectly. I've got that N up and I'm on my second A for banana. Using that same technique, holding the interior portion of the A with the X-Acto knife and continuing to pull with my hand. And now I've got that whole word, this whole banana pulled up right here. And again, you could keep this and reuse it later if you are so inclined. Now I've got this whole word banana pulled up, but I've got all of these words, these ingredients, the recipe itself that I'm going to pull up next. This will take just a few minutes, but it's really straightforward. So just sit back and just enjoy, this part of the process. Now, if you're a risk taker like me, then you could also try peeling from the corner, and then as the letters start to pop out, just use your hand or use that X-Acto knife as you go to continue to push them out. Now this is not for the faint of heart. You can make mistakes doing it this way. Now I've worked with stencils a lot, so I don't mind taking these little risks. But the first method that I showed you is going to be a lot better, a lot more professional if you want to take your time. This is really just, if you want to make it move really fast. Now, I still have some of my letters stuck in the stencil itself. There's still a way that I can fix this as I'm working. So just like I was pulling all of the letters out from the stencil when it was on its paper, I'm going to do the same thing while I place it on my cheese board. I'm basically going to go in and carve the rest of the letters out. So let's be really careful when we place it. This is going to be quite unforgiving, so just make sure that it's nice and centered, and be careful that you don't create any air bubbles. You could either start by placing it in one corner, or you could start by placing it in the center. And what we want to do is just make sure that you don't push it down too firmly across the entire stencil, because as I mentioned, I still have some little letters that I want to go and just carve out. It's been about 30 minutes since I started working on the stencil. It really does take a little bit of time to just punch out all of those individual letters, make sure that it all looks perfect. But the longer that we take with our stencil, the more perfect we are with pulling all of those letters out, the better it's going to look on our cheese board, on our cutting board when we finish. So I actually finished mine on this practice stencil right here, because as you lay it down, you might find a few little letters that are still holding into their like corresponding spot. So if you have yours stuck to the cutting board, your practice board, then you can always just go back through it with your X-Acto knife, which is what I did. This is how I finished it. It's okay if there's a few little spots that still have some blockages. That's really normal, and that's something that we can fix with our pencil. But what we want to do is make sure that we have the stencil laid down on our practice board. I'm going to pencil it in, and then I'm going to transfer my stencil straight to my cheese board that is going to be my finished object. I'm not going to put it anywhere in between. I'm going to transfer the stencil straight from the practice board to our finished piece, because I want to make sure that I'm using it as a placeholder, that I'm not messing it up along the way. So I'm actually going to skip the practice board. I want to show you guys the finished project. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that right now. But for you guys, I really recommend starting with your practice board. But I've done a lot of wood burning, so I'm feeling okay about it. I've worked with these stencils a number of times, so I'm just going to skip ahead. Anytime we're removing our stencil, we always want to be really careful. This is something that we could accidentally tear, so just be gentle. You can even approach it from different angles. Like I can start to peel it from one side, one corner, and then another corner, finishing in the center. I think that's actually a great way to peel up a stencil. Another thing that I really love about this, as I peel it and place it on the finished board in a new spot, it loses just a touch of that stickiness. It makes it a little bit easier to work with. So the more that I use the stencil, the easier it gets. So again, just like I said before, whenever we place our stencil, we want to make sure that it's perfectly placed, that it's nice and up and down, that it's centered. This is slightly unforgiving. Once we pencil it, that's where our pencil lines are going to go. So we really need this to be straight. So I think that's looking pretty good, looking pretty centered. And just very gently, I'm running my hand over the stencil to help it hold in place. Now, just like I said before, my ingredients, my tea is just ever so slightly wonky. I'll show you how I fix that in just a minute, but it's really no problem. Yeah, the rest of it's looking really good. So I'm just running my fingers over the entire stencil. Look for any air bubbles. Just press out any air bubbles that you can. If you're worried about your large letters, the interiors of your A's or your E's, you can go back to your original stencil sheet and you can peel those interior portions off and place them in here. But let me just show you a sneaky trick of how you can avoid needing the interiors of the E's or the B's. What defines the shape is the exterior. So what we want to do is make sure that we have like a really nice and firm, dark pencil line. and we want to make sure that we get all of our edges really firmly. The interiors don't matter nearly as much. Those we can get a little bit creative with. But I'm just going to go ahead and pencil in all of these letters, starting at the top. And I'm just working like I would if I were writing in a journal or writing a letter, just working from left to right and from top to bottom. With the D's, because I don't have the interior of the D right here, now you can always, again, you can put the little tiny sticker back in there if you have any concern. But again, all I really want is that exterior information. It's even easier with these little letters than it was with these bigger letters right here. With these, we really don't need to worry about the interior much because the wood burning tool, it is going to make it look really handmade. It's not going to look perfect. There might be little pieces that are, or like little imperfections or little things that just aren't exactly perfect. And so that B might end up getting filled in anyway. This A might end up getting filled in anyway. It's still going to read and it's still going to look really cute, really professional. So just don't worry about that too much. Don't worry about it as you're stenciling. Don't worry about it as you're wood burning. Now, the stenciling part of this, or using my pencil to color everything in, has taken nearly as long as perfecting the stencil, working on that stencil. So don't be surprised if this step takes some time as well. I think I've been working on this for, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But the more careful that you are with each of these steps, the more beautiful it's going to look when it's done. And it's also just good to know, while you're working on this project that it's going to take a little bit of time. So just enjoy it while you're working on it and just have fun with it. So I've just finished penciling everything and it's time to peel the stencil and see how it looks. Then we can start wood burning. Okay, it looks great. All of the letters have come through really clearly. We can really see where everything needs to be burned. But some of these really tiny letters down here, it might get confusing, what the words are, especially some of those smaller words where, it could be a couple of different things. So I'm going to keep my stencil. I'm going to just put it back on the original stencil paper that I had it on. So I'm going to put it right here so that I can have it in front of me. So if I ever get confused with any of these words, I can refer back to it. I also have just a couple little pieces of that stencil that have managed to come off on my board. So just go back through with your X-Acto knife and just pull them right off. So let's remember all of those safety tips. You can find those safety tips in this video right here, but let's talk through them as we go. So I'm going to hold my wood burning tool like a pencil. Now I want to make sure that any hair is out of the way. And I also want to be careful about where my cord is. So I'm not going to touch any of that metal. So I'm going to work with this tip side down. That's going to give me a little bit more control about my burn, where it's actually burning. And then I just treat it like a pencil or treat it like a pen. Again, if you have any hair that flies in front of it, just make sure you pull it to the side, tie your hair back. As you're burning, you might notice that your tip almost like pulls into the wood, like it feels as if it's like magnetic. They're almost sucked together. That's a really normal part of the process. That heat, when it transfers, it does create a slight pull. So just be aware of that and just be really careful as you're burning that you keep a nice light touch and a lifting motion if you need to. That's going to give you the most amount of control. Now, the longer that you hold your wood burning tool in one place, the darker your lines are going to be. You definitely want to think about creating some nice even lines. And that's going to be how long do you hold it in one area and how firmly do you press it into the wood. With each letter, I'm creating a few passes. So I'm going over each part of that letter just a few times. Now I've already made the tiniest little mistake at the bottom of my A and banana bread. I did kind of like make a line that's lower and make a line that's slightly higher. Little things like that are normal. Once you have a finished board, it's going to look so cute, and those little tiny imperfections, no one will even notice. So don't worry about anything like that. I'm pretty much at the end of all of my letters. Everything is pretty much done. All of my big letters, those really took a long time. Those I had to go over several different times. But all of these smaller letters were really quick. It was really fun. Now, one thing that I noticed when I started my project, I had a lot of control. It's really good to take breaks if you feel like you're cramping or if you start to lose your penmanship. Something that I did near the end is I actually used both hands, and then I even put my elbows down. Every single one is going to be slightly unique just based on your own handwriting and where you put pressure. And that's part of the thing that makes it so beautiful, is you really want it to feel that handmade quality or feel unique. So I would just let it, be as it is. Now this is a raw wood cutting board. It's not coated, it's not treated with anything. Now, we never want to wood burn treated or coated surfaces. We don't want to heat those types of surfaces. We don't want to melt them. That can be dangerous. That's not things that we want to breathe. We only want to wood burn raw, natural wood. So that's what we have right here. So we're going to keep and maintain this cutting board just like you would any other raw wood in your kitchen. So don't leave it in the sink for long periods of time. Don't let it soak in water for too long, but you can wash it normally with soap and water. If you need to clean it and sanitize it, you can use a grapefruit oil, you can use a mineral oil to keep it coated and glossy and moisturized, but that's really all you need to do. It's just like any other wood object that's in your kitchen. The wood burn will last forever. It's not something that's going to fade. It's not something that's going to go away. So it's going to look just like this forever. You can use this beautiful recipe cutting board for a cheese plate. You could put this on an easel in your kitchen and just put it on display. You could use this as a gift. It's so cute. There's a million different ways that you could use it. I hope you love making this project as much as I did. If you want more projects like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. My name is Brittany Bly. I'm the founder of Pop Shop America. Happy crafting.